counting book to go even beyond a million. Yes, you read that. The book is called On Beyond a Million, an amazing math journey. So we are going to take an amazing math journey. Just let me get things rearranged a little bit up here. Okay. So, first I have to tell you the story in this book. In the book it has a story, a made-up story. We call that fiction. The book has numbers that are non-fiction, and it also has a story. It's the story of some kids in a classroom who are having a snack. And their snack is popcorn. They're popping it in this machine, and the pop kernels come out of the machine and they land in the bowl. And the kids are eating popcorn out of the bowl. They're having a great time. But then when snack time is over, they go to turn off the popcorn machine, and guess what? It won't shut off. It keeps sending more popcorn down into the bowl, and the bowl fills up, and it's overflowing. The popcorn is going onto the table and onto the floor, and they still cannot turn off that popcorn machine. Well, they try to unplug it, but guess what? It's stuck. The plug won't come out. And now the popcorn is starting to fill up their classroom. Well, these kids decide they better leave the room, so they do, but guess what? The popcorn does too. It fills the classroom and it goes out and fills the entire school. Well, these kids have a question. Their question is, how much popcorn do we have? Does that remind you of anybody? Does that remind you of anybody? Who would have asked that when he was a boy? So they decide they're going to find out how much popcorn. They're going to count the popcorn. So we're going to see how they count the popcorn. They start out counting in the usual way. And what I mean is they start out counting by ones. And what's in the bag right here? How much? One kernel of popcorn. Okay, they count by ones just 10 times before something happens that makes them change their mind about how to count. Let's count by ones 10 times, then I'll tell you what happens. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And here I have 10 kernels of popcorn. Okay, well, when they get up to 10, along comes a professor from the university, UConn, I think. He drives up in his car, and with him he has what? His dog. His very smart dog who wears eyeglasses and a bow tie. Well, the professor and the dog were supposed to do an assembly at the school. The professor was going to talk, and the dog would take notes on the board, but the assembly was canceled. How come? Because of all that popcorn, they can't have the assembly. They're looking around and they see the kids counting the popcorn. And the professor says, I see what you're doing. You have a whole school full of popcorn and you're counting it by ones. And you're only up to 10. He says, you'll never get it all counted like that. But don't worry. There are other ways that you could count. So we're going to see how the professor counts. When he says you're counting by ones, his dog writes a 1 on the board. And when he says you're only up to 10, his dog writes a 10 on the board. Kindergarten, how does he write the number 10? 1, 0. Good. And he says, well, don't you think you'd get there a lot faster if you stopped counting by ones and you started counting by 10s? What do you think? You think that's a good idea? So they do that. Let's do it together. They count by 10s 10 times. Here we go. You help me. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And here I have 100 kernels of popcorn. All right. Well, now the dog writes 100. How does he do that in first grade? Kindergarten do that too. Okay, 1, 0, 0. And you know what? This gives them a new idea about another way to count. And what do you think they count by next? 100. So here we go. You help me. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000. We're up to 1,000. It's the same as how many hundreds? 10. Do you think I have 1,000 kernels of popcorn? Who thinks I have 1,000? Who thinks I do not have 1,000? All right. Well, let's find out. Where should I look for 1,000? In my box? All right. We'll look in my box. Okay. You think 1,000 would fit in this box? Well, let's see. Here's 100, right? We know that. And how many of these make 1,000? 10. Think we could get 10 of these in here? Yeah, I think 10 of these would fit in here. Okay. I'll reach in the box, kind of like a magician reaches into a hat to pull out a rabbit. I don't want a rabbit. I just want 1,000 popcorn. All right. So, what number are we up to? 1,000. How do we write 1,000? 1, 0, 0, 0. How many zeros does it have? 3, 0. One with 3 zeros. And you know, there's something else we want to put in this number. You know what it is? It's a little curved line. That's right. It is called a comma. Where should we put it? Should we put it here? No. How about here? No. How about here? Yes. There we go. There goes the comma. Okay. We count 3 places for the comma. So let's go on. What do you think the kids decide to count by next? Thousands. Are you ready to count by thousands? Have you ever counted by thousands before? Well, you know what? It's easy. It's a lot like counting by ones, except we're counting by 1,000s. Here we go. You help me. I'm sure you can do it. Even in kindergarten. Let's count together. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000. Wow, what number are we up to? 10,000. Do you think I have 10,000 kernels of popcorn? Who thinks I have 10,000? Who thinks I do not have 10,000? Okay, most of you think I have it, but a few of you are doubters. Say, I doubt it. That means I don't think so. I notice there's a teacher who's a doubter also. Oh, it's the principal. Sorry. All right. Well, let's look around. Where should I look for 10,000? In my box. Okay, let's think about that. Here's my box. And here is how much? How much is in this bag? 1,000. Now, do you think 10,000 could fit into the box? Do you think 10 of these could fit in the box? How many of these do you think could fit in the box? I would say probably 2. And how much popcorn would that make? 2,000. 2 of these thousands would make how much? 2,000. Now, we don't want 2,000. We're looking for 10,000. So where do you think I should look? You still want me to look in the box. Okay. Seeing is believing in kindergarten. So here we go. So I'm going to open the box, and I'm going to dump out all the popcorn. Watch out. Here it comes. Da, 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 no popcorn. Hey, let's put this bag back into the box where it came from. If I had 10,000, how many more of these bags would that be? 9 more. You think I could fit 9 more in the box? I don't think so. Okay, so let's look somewhere else. Any ideas where I should look? On the table, I just see books and a few other things. On the stage, no. I see some cellos and some music stands. Over here, on the piano. This is just a garbage bag. Well, what do you think's in this garbage bag? You want me to reach my hand in there? How much popcorn do you think I'm going to find? So we have to hurry up. Let's write this number 10,000, and then we'll go on to bigger numbers. How many zeros are in 10,000? 4. A 1 with 4 zeros. And we have to put in the comma. Where do we put it? Here? Here? Yes? Yes. Okay. Let's go on. Let's count by 10,000s. You ready? Here we go. Help me count. It's just like counting by tens. 10,000. 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000, 70,000, 80,000, 90,000, 100,000. What's that number? Say it with me. 100,000. Okay. Who thinks I have 100,000? Who thinks I do not have 100,000? The teachers are doubters this time. Okay, I will tell you the answer. I have some good news, but I also have some bad news. I'll tell you the good news, but don't start cheering, because then I have to tell you the bad news. But when you hear the bad news, don't start crying, because then I'm going to tell you more good news. Okay, we have good, bad, good. The first good news is, I do have 100,000 kernels of popcorn. But the bad news is they're not here. That bag was just too big. It's the same as how many of these? 10 of these 10,000s make 100,000. I couldn't bring it with me on the airplane, so I had to leave it at home. That's the bad news. You ready for the other good news? First, let's write the number 100,000. How many zeros do you think it has? 5. And there's the comma. Okay, here's the other good news. Even though I couldn't bring 100,000 kernels of popcorn to show you, I knew you'd want to see what it looks like. So I brought a picture. Here I am with my bag of how much? 100,000. Let's count by 100,000s. Hold your arms out. Hold your arms out. Pretend you're holding up this bag, and we're going to make a pile with 10 of them. Here we go. Help me count. 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, 500,000. Up here, 600,000, 700,000, 800,000, 900,000, we're going to go one last time. Who thinks somewhere I have 1,000,000 kernels of popcorn? And who thinks no way, nowhere does he have 1,000,000? Okay, these are the doubters again, the people who say, I don't think so. All right, I'll tell you the answer. I have some good news, but I also have some bad news. But they're different from last time. We're going to start with the bad news and end with the good news, okay? The bad news is, I don't have 1,000,000 anywhere. It took me 3 months to pop all that popcorn, and that's only 100,000. Now maybe the first grade back in your classroom, you could figure out how long it would take to pop 1,000,000. I went to another school where the first graders did that. They drew pictures and figured out if it takes 3 months to pop 100,000, and there are 10 of those 100,000 in a million, they figured out how long that would take. But for now, we'll just say, I decided it was too long, so I do not have a million anywhere. But I told you there's some good news, right? Let's first write the number 1 million. How many zeros in a million? 6. A one with 6 zeros. How many commas in a million? 2. We count 3 places for 1 comma, and then another 3 places for the next comma. Okay. So here's the other good news. One day, I can't tell you while you guys are talking. Okay? Thank you, that's much better. One day I went to a school, and I told everybody I did not have a million, and they said, well, that's okay. I said, well, what do you mean that's okay? They say, come with us. I said, come with us? Where are we going? I said, well, you'll find out. Just come with us. So I looked at the teachers, and I said, teachers, what's going on around here? And the teacher said, come with us. So they led me through the school, and they led me out the back door, and behind the school they had a surprise. What do you think it was? 1 million kernels of popcorn that they had popped for me. Hey everybody, we're out of time. You've been a great audience. Thanks a million.